Hey guys, Salty Sweet Ren here, and I want to give you guys a huge apology for taking so long to upload this video. It was recorded months ago, but I got sidetracked and distracted from uploading it and editing it for a number of reasons. My reaction videos have been getting copyright strikes, and I haven't really had much of a motivation to do many of the games, because for one, my laptop can barely run many games, and two, I wasn't sure how many people were actually genuinely interested in it. But I'm going to be continuing this series, don't worry. And, please enjoy this episode of the Grunkle's Dating Simulator, Swooning Over Stands. Hello everybody, Salty Sweet Ren here, and I'm back with another episode of Swooning Over Stands, a Grunkle Dating Simulator. And I'm sorry I haven't been uploading as often as I should be, but I've also been distracted by this really cool Ask blog over on Tumblr called, What Would Tesla Do? It's an Ask blog for Paranoid Ford, but, the story's changed. It's so crazy. Just go check it out. There's so much going on with it. We managed to change the story so that Ford is... he called Stan over instead of sending him a postcard. The portal is dismantled. There's lots of jokes about toast and beans. It makes sense in context. Just go check it out. But anyway, back into Swooning Over Stands. The dates continue in a quiet alcove of the Gravity Falls Library and on the roof of the shack past midnight. They're simple compared to the production Mabel whipped up for you the night of the meteor shower, but Ford seems more comfortable this way, and really, so are you. You've learned more about him, but it's like he's still holding something back. In your conversations, it feels less like he's just spent a year away sailing, and more like he spent half his life in another universe. Yeah, I wonder why. For instance, during the afternoon at the library, he'd attempted to print nearly 3 decades worth of academic papers in physics, and you had to remind him about the existence of PDF downloads and USB drives. But whatever past he's hiding, you're not sure you'll ever find out. The magic Stan's worked on your car has rendered it almost operational again, meaning that your time at Gravity Falls is coming to a close. And that today's the last date you'll have with Ford. What? The last one? Please don't let this be the last one. You arrive at the Gravity Falls community pool just a minute after sunset. Pinks, oranges, and yellows streak across the sky like a splash of Mabel juice. Despite it being after hours for the community pool, the front gate is open, thanks Dipper, and you sidle inside, taking in the abandoned floaties and the one several times special edition soggy towel on the floor. Aww. A few minutes pass before Ford arrives, signaled by his accidental slip on said several times towel and a quiet curse at his clumsiness. Aww. Don't worry, I nearly stood on it too.
Someone must have left it behind, though maybe for good reason.
He picks up the towel between finger and thumb, and something sticky... Why? It's Ford shudders and drops it again. Okay.
Children and their boy bands.
Make sure Mabel's not around to hear that. I'm fairly certain she'd disown you.
At least Baba actually had some good songs back in their day.
Ford turns to you and you notice something. His curious expression softens as you stare at him, and he makes his way over to you, tilting his head down in your direction. Curse him for being so dang tall and cute, even though... Ford?
Yes?
You have a California fridge magnet stuck to your forehead. Oh, yeah, he has the metal plate in his head. Ford immediately flushes bright red, eyes wide in surprise.
Really?
You pull the magnet off his forehead, examine it for a moment, and then lightly tap his nose with it. He flushes a somehow deeper pink, grinning bashfully at you. Okay, I think that was the right call. So... Ford sits on the edge of the pool and dangles his feet in, having not worn a swimsuit. You have one on under your clothing, but you're kind of nervous to get undressed. I don't know, but I'm not gonna stay dressed. I don't know. You ask permission, awkwardly gesture towards your clothing. Ford stammers and stutters his way through it. Yes, you can get undressed and whatnot, and he promptly turns around to give you privacy. You notice, though, that he peeks just once. You don't comment on it, but you blush regardless. You sit with Ford on the edge of the pool, swinging your legs back and forth in the water. The two of you sit in silence for a moment. Do you go swimming a lot?
Me? No. I used to swim a lot as a child, since we lived close to the ocean. But now, not really.
Why not?
Never had the time, I suppose. I was always so busy with my work that I never realized we even had a community pool until Mabel told me about it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't really go swimming that often either. We do have a community pool, like, literally 2 streets away, and I just never swim in it. I'm not really a fan of swimming, but it's fine. It goes quiet again. Ford's hand skims across the surface of the water, tracing tiny waves with his fingers. He looks to be deep in thought, like something's troubling him. Silence seems like a bad option, but will he tell me what the matter is, or... He looks up at you, wide-eyed and blinking behind his thick glasses.
Oh, nothing. Just thinking.
You stay silent, and instead start swirling your finger in the water too, occasionally curling your finger around his. It's an accident, of course. Eventually, you both stop messing with the water and leave your fingers linked together, which gradually turns into his hand taking yours, and all of your fingers intertwining, knuckles brushing against the water. Ford swallows. Out of the corner of your eye, you see his face tinted pink, and it's probably not from the sunset. He seems nervous, more nervous than on your Mabel-certified date of dreams, which is strange considering the context. That one was pretty forced. Ford,
Do you trust me?
The question comes in one breath, out of nowhere. His grip on your hand tightens. Oh. Yeah, I trust you, yeah. He rubs the back of his neck with his free hand, a small reflexive gesture, 6 fingers dipping beneath the high collar of his sweater.
There are things I still haven't told you yet. Things about myself. Though I'm not sure you'd like. Things I'm not sure you'd like. Of course, there's the great Uncle Ford side of things. With Dipper and Mabel. But you, don't really know what happened to me while I was studying here, 30 years ago.
He's gonna tell us about the portal, isn't he? Or something. That's what I'm pretty sure is gonna happen. Okay. Ford looks down at the water, at his reflection. He frowns, closes his eyes, and thinks for a moment.
You've proven yourself to be a good companion, to put it lightly. Of course, the whole dating thing.
He blushes. Ford coughs when you start giggling. Aw.
Well, what I mean is, there's nothing about you that could do me significant harm.
Just wait until I peel off my human skin and become a lizard person.
Within the set of species residing on this earth, there exists a race of lizard people, and surely they walk among us, Ren. That subject is no joking matter.
Okay. Good to know. You stare at him, an eyebrow raised. Both of you burst out laughing, the sound echoing around the empty pool, and from the corner of your eye, you notice Ford scooting closer to you. Oh.
Ren, you hadn't heard of You hadn't heard of Gravity Falls until you crashed into the Mystery Shack because of my magnet gun, correct?
I read about the shack being a tourist trap in Oregon, but that's just about it. Gravity Falls wasn't even on my map. Why do you ask?
That's to be expected. Most people don't know about Gravity Falls until they see it for themselves, or do elaborate research on it. Remember when we went hunting for the Mothman, how I warned you about the other creatures that can be found in the woods and around town?
So, I'll never forget our grand adventure, or this would probably be the ones I would go with. I'll never forget our grand adventure?
Yes, our adventure.
You think back to your first time hanging out and finding the Mothman. You hadn't even known what Ford was like back then. Privately, you could almost consider it like a first date.
Well, my point was, there are so many more oddities, bizarre creatures, geographical anomalies, secret societies, and strange townspeople. Like I've said before, this unique concentration of weirdness is what drew me to Gravity Falls in the first place, and made it the perfect place to conduct my research.
So, this is definitely my first question out of all of these. So why was the weirdness centralized to Gravity Falls?
Exactly. That's what I wondered. My biggest question during these studies was, why? Why is this town so strange? I've tried to find an answer, a unifying theory, that would pull my research together and finally grant me success. But I hit a wall in my research. I had no ideas, no leads, with nothing and no one to help me, until I found a being by the name of Bill Cipher. He came to me in my dreams, claiming he was a godly muse, a friend, someone who could do a lot with a little help, and I believed him.
Ah, yes, he's about to tell us. Ford continues with a certain bitterness you've certainly never heard in his tone before.
I put my unconditional trust in him. I asked for his wisdom, for his guidance, put him on a godly pedestal and worshipped him, even going so far as to litter my house with his image.
Like, I'm not sure if I'd say... I don't remember anything about a door. So I don't know. Did you have, like, posters and stuff? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. It sounds almost like mocking, but... I don't know. I guess I'll go with this one. I don't know.
Well, when I consulted Bill about my unifying theory, he told me that my answer lay in another dimension, and that he could help me build a portal to it. Obviously, I built it without hesitation, without thought. Instead of being a discovery to a weirdness dimension as I had been led to believe, it turned out to lead to the nightmare realm. Bill's realm. He had tricked me. All he had wanted was to cross into our dimension, and model it all into his chaotic image. I shut the portal down before his plans could be realized, but it was too late. My mind was in shambles from Bill's influence. I should have ended it. I should have torn the portal down, but I had put so much into making it work. I hid the instructions for its operation instead. I tried to entrust a piece of it to Stanley, but after 10 years apart,
Ford pauses, sucking in a deep breath.
Oh, that sad face! We fought. In the midst of it all, one of us pushed a button and pulled a switch. The portal was reactivated that day, and I was pulled into it. I spent the next 30 years in that portal, years of searching for the answer to a new question, how to defeat Bill, once and for all. But I was pulled back to this dimension, my home dimension, too early, and all this frustration came crashing down. In this tiny town in a grand multiverse, I believed I was... In this tiny town in a grand multiverse, I truly believed I was meant for something more. Bill told me that I would change the world. I never questioned it. I never questioned if it would be for better or for worse.
You were doing what you thought was best.
At the time, of course, I didn't realize the repercussions of my actions would be so catastrophic.
But you did it, right?
Did what?
Built the portal, left, came back, etc. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
I did, yes. But I didn't do it alone. I was pulled back through the portal by Stanley himself, and Dipper and Mabel, of course. However, because the portal had been reactivated, Bill could enter our world at any time. I destroyed the portal device once and for all, but what was left was an interdimensional rift in space-time, left over from the portal's last operation. It had the potential to let Bill through to our dimension. I contained it, but the rift shattered. Bill entered the physical realm and wreaked havoc on Gravity Falls in an event called Weirdmageddon.
What did you do?
Me? I was captured, turned into a sideshow at the devil's right hand, while my family was left to deal with the remains of my grave mistake.
I have a feeling that I'm probably asking all the wrong questions for this story, but I don't know.
It was the apocalypse, weirdness exploding from every corner, anomalies even I couldn't explain, everywhere. It was all Bill's doing. But
he breathes out, frustrating with himself.
It was still my fault. As much as I want to go back on myself and say it wasn't, I still caused the whole thing. I brought Bill here. I helped him with his plan.
You didn't mean to cause the end of the world. You made a mistake. All of us do sometimes. You just wanted knowledge about things outside of this world, and yeah, and badly we all mess up. Ford is quiet, but he's looking at you from the corner of his eye. I've messed up a lot, you know? We're human beings. Sometimes you hurt someone. Sometimes you cause Weirdmageddon, but you didn't mean to do it.
But
no buts. You're human, Ford. Even if it was awful and you blame yourself, you didn't falter because of it. You stopped Bill, right? It's all okay now. You live and you learn. Ford nods, squeezing your hand. It was awful and bad, and yeah, you messed up, but it doesn't define you. You're incredibly intelligent and fun to hang out with, and sure, sometimes I don't understand half the sciencey stuff that comes out of your mouth, but it's all part of you. And that's what makes me like you all the same. Aw, I think I did well then. Ford finally turns to look at you, and he winds an arm around your shoulders. You scoot closer and complete the hug, draping your arm across his middle and hugging him tight. Aw.
Thank you for listening to me ramble.
It wasn't rambling, it was your life. And I'm very happy to learn more about whenever you want to... And I'm very happy to learn more about you whenever you want to tell me more. Ford pauses, thinking.
My favorite snack foods are jelly beans. I hate toffee peanuts. Oh.
Oh boy. Honestly, I kind of guessed the whole jelly beans thing. Yeah. Ford laughs, and you laugh with him, nuzzling into his chest. You feel him swallow before he presses his lips to the top of my... Ah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ford. He smiles at you a moment longer, then it falls as he sobers.
I suppose I want to tell you because you're leaving soon.
Ah, that's right. No. The acknowledgement that in a matter of days your time in Gravity Falls will be over should feel final, but instead it only feels distant. You sit back, relinquishing Ford's embrace, and he speaks again.
Ren, what are you doing after all this? When you get your car back, what'll you do?
I don't know yet. I'll see when I get there. It would be comforting to think that Ford will still be here, in Gravity Falls for summers to come. But you recall that Stan and Ford don't even live on land anymore. They'll be setting sail again, exploring the seas and documenting the oddities of the world. From what you've already heard about it, it's intense stuff that keeps them on the move and untethered. Ah. Tell them how I feel. I want to do that. Yes, that's... Out of these, this is what I want to... Like, if this really is, like, the last chance... Like, at some point, I kind of have to, I guess, so... Ford? Yes? No! Never mind, it was nothing. Let's just enjoy this. So you do. Sunlight starting to bleed between the pine trees. I'm guessing I don't think I got the perfect ending. I highly doubt it. So you do. Sunlight starting to bleed between the pine trees as the sun sets on your last night in Gravity Falls. We got so close. Yeah, so it's our last day in Gravity Falls. Okay, so that was short. I'm gonna keep going. If this is the last day... Weeks ago, you'd worried today would never come, but now that it's here, you don't know how to feel. Just yesterday, when Stan told you your car was good to go, you wanted to believe there was something still left for him to fix. And yesterday evening, after your final dinner with the whole Pines family and Sue's back-breaking goodbye hug, you had almost resigned yourself to letting go. But now, in the clarity of daylight, you realize that all these weird and wonderful people don't have to disappear from your life for good. You'll always have the memories, and you'll still be able to keep in touch through letters, packages, and video calls. They won't be able to get rid of you, even. Too late, suckers. Cherished friends for life. Oh, this is so emotional for me. Why? When you make your way out of the shack, you're met by the Pines and Waddles, all gathered beside a large tarp, covering what you'd guess is your car. They're talking amongst themselves until they spot you.
There they are! Thought you were gonna miss the big reveal! Now, you guys!
Ford and Stan each take an end of the tarp, pulling it off with a flourish as Mabel and Dipper throw handfuls of confetti in the air. Ta-da! The reveal is, indeed, your car. Besides a couple of nicks here and there, it's hard to believe it's the same one you crashed just weeks ago. Heck, it probably runs better than it did when you first got it. It looks amazing! Like, if he could totally fix up my entire car, that would be amazing, because my car has a huge dent in the side. The frame apparently is so badly damaged that it can't even be replaced. So... You take it all in, running your hands along the hood and marveling at the spotless windows. Ford, can I call you the next time I need a tune-up? If this is what happens when you use that magnet gun, I might ask you to total my car more often.
Ha! Well, yes. Perhaps we could find a middle ground.
Hey! No love for me, huh? Don't forget who got you out of this mess in the first place!
I could never! Trust me, I'll think of you every time I use my windshield wipers without jamming the button. You laugh, giving Stan a big hug in gratitude. Thank you, Stan. You turn to the whole family, taking the moment in. Oh. Oh. And thanks to all of you for everything. It's been great. Familiar car keys back in your hand, you unlock your car, and load your belongings into the trunk. Mabel comes up and hands you a package wrapped entirely in ribbons and bows, winking. Just something to remember us by. Stan calls from where he stands with Ford, to the left of your car.
I don't know what that is, but it's from me too.
And me.
Dipper simply shoots you a thumbs up, and when you look at the label on Mabel's gift, you see his name is already on it beside hers.
This is so emotional now. Why? If I can, I would open it right then. So I'm not very patient. So you're about to pull at the ribbons, but Mabel chides you.
No, you gotta open it on the road after you leave.
Okay. Or well, after you stop at a rest stop because you're driving. Please don't get into another accident.
You tuck the gift into the trunk, on top of everything else, making sure it'll be safe from being crushed. After Mabel, Waddles comes up to you as well and snorts up at you. You give the little guy a loving pat.
You're going to miss that pig. You're really going to miss Gravity Falls too. Why is this so emotional? This is...
I don't know what to say, except, I guess... You're about to say goodbye when Ford interrupts you.
Ren, wait.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Come on, kids, back in the house. Nothing to see here.
But I want to see...
And he's just kind of dragging them away, I guess. Stan shoos the kids back into the shack, leaving Ford and you alone outside. Ford steps closer to face you. Ren, I've never been great at relationships. In college, I ruined what chances I had, and everything after that is best left forgotten. But I think I want to try this with you, Ren. If you'll have me. Oh! I want this too, Ford.
I think this'll work. And I want to keep in touch, Ford. I wanted to ask for your number ages ago, but the shack's landline isn't exactly private, and I don't think you own a cell phone.
Ha! No. Stanley's the one who bothers with cellular phones for the kids' sake. But I connected my watch to the interweb, as they say, and can send me electronic mail, or...
Ford hands you a small folded piece of... Ford hands you a folded piece of paper, with parts of his cursive peeking from its folds. You almost start to unfold it before Ford places his hand over yours.
You can send me a letter. This one's just to start us off.
You look up at him and feel the desire to...
We haven't gone for this yet, so I think that if it's now or never, basically. It's now or never!
You lean up to give him a parting kiss on the cheek. When you step back, he's blushing.
You know, Ren, meeting you has made me incredibly glad that I made that mistake with the magnet gun. Not that stranding you here was a positive, but remember me, alright?
Same to you. Don't forget me while you're off saving the world on the Stanowar. Goodbye, Ford.
Ford watches as you get in your car and start up the engine. You turn onto the road with ease, and in the rear window... In the rearview mirror, you see Ford waving goodbye, as well as Dipper, Mabel, and Stan from the shack.
You smile at the sight and say last goodbye into the quiet of your car, watching until you have to focus on the road once more.
A little while longer, and you're through town, back on the open road.
A sign passes on the right, now leaving Gravity Falls.
Oh, it's the same shack from the beginning.
It's not until you're at the next rest stop that you think to open Mabel's gift. Or, well, the Pines family's gift. You unwrap it to find Mystery Shack souvenirs, a small knitted square Mabel has helpfully labeled as a mug sweater, and a photo.
Oh! What's the photo? The end? Wait, what was... Thank you for playing. Wait, was that it? I only got those 2 pictures. Was that really it? Oh man. I guess that's the end. Oh man. That was great. I really want to get a perfect ending somehow. I'm going to probably do perfect ending on my own time, but this isn't going to be the end for the series. I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to try Stan's route. It's probably going to be very different. I know that much. But so Ford's route is done. We did really well, I think. Not perfect, but we did really well. And next time we're gonna try and see what Stan's route is like, and see just how different it is. I'm still going to be doing the whole based on my personality thing. So I think it's probably going to be even worse because I don't know what Stan would do with a huge introvert like me. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!